Hello and welcome to another episode of Money Talks with me, 𝗟𝗂𝘀𝘁cie𝗵𝗏. If you enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe at the end of it. What I'm going to try and do in this video is explain why Credit Suisse has fallen 66% since the beginning of 2022 in 1 minute. Credit Suisse has declined rapidly in the last week and is being compared to Lehman Brothers back in 2008 when they began the massive market crash that shocked the entire world's financial system. Most people on Reddit and generally online think that this was all caused by an Australian news anchor when he announced that credit default swaps were being raised on some bank. And although he didn't give a source, most people assumed that it was Credit Suisse. However, even though the Australian news anchor was likely talking about Credit Suisse has been in decline since way back in 2008. This is because of a rather typical self-fulfilling prophecy in the financial world. Let's go back to 2008 for a second, where all the banks in the world had made bad investments. However, some had made slightly worse investments than others, and Credit Suisse was one of them. Now, in order to obtain new money to continue the operations of the business and to continue on gaining growth and momentum, Credit Suisse had to offer more interest on the money in order to obtain new investors. However, in order to get these higher yields, they had to invest in riskier businesses in order to get the return they needed on the cash people had invested. The issue here is risky investments are risky. So the people investing in Credit Suisse would also buy insurance on their investment. Much like if you bought a house, you'd probably buy insurance on it just in case of a disaster. That way, if it went really bad, the insurance company would have to pay them some of their money back. The price of this insurance is often called the spread or credit default swap. So when you hear the price of CDS is going up, just try to think the cost of insuring your investments with Credit Suisse is going up. Now in 2022, Greensill Capital, an investment bank Credit Suisse invested in, went bankrupt, losing $10 billion of Credit Suisse's investors' money. Simultaneously, a hedge fund set up by Credit Suisse also collapsed, losing another $5 billion of investors' money. Naturally, this led to some quite large insurance payouts on Credit Suisse, which in turn led to the insurance of Credit Suisse going up in price. Hence, the credit default swaps are getting more expensive. Therefore, if you have millions of pounds to invest today and you are looking to invest in Credit Suisse, you would need a bigger return than you were promised a year ago to invest in it today, because you've got to make a return above the cost of insuring your stock. So the issue for Credit Suisse is now, after losing billions of investors' money, they now need to offer even higher returns going into the future in order to justify higher credit default swap prices. This would likely lead to even riskier investments during a recession and would increase the likelihood of even more losses to come. Therefore, the only question is, will investors continue to hold their money in Credit Suisse in the hope that these incredibly risky investments will pay off and continue paying the now much higher insurance costs? Or will they cut their losses, thus fulfilling this final chapter in the self-fulfilling prophecy? The final straw in a long and slow collapse that began with bad investments all the way back in 2008 and wound them up here. Regardless of what these investors do, if you offered me 1% of the business for £100 and I had to hold it for 10 years, I'd probably keep the £100. However, if you offered me to like and subscribe to my channel, I would gladly accept that. I'd very much appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. Goodbye.